Who's leading kirtan?
Um, I can, Guru Maharaj, if nobody else volunteers.
You're the man.
All right. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Gurudas Jayādvaita Swami Niti Namane. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Shrimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Niti Namane. Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharini Nirvishesha Shunyavari Paschatya Deshatarine. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasari Gaur Bhaktivinoda. You have a tune?
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jayam Vishnupad Paramahamsa Parivrajikacharya Stotra Shata Shishama Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj Prabhupada Ki Jai. Jayam Vishnupad Paramahamsa Parivrajikacharya Stotra Shata Shishama Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Prabhupada Ki Jai. Ananta Koti Vaishnavrinda Ki Jai. Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai. Prem se Kaur Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasari Gaur Bhaktivinoda Ki Jai. Jai Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gopa Gopinath Shyam Kund Radha Kund Giri Govardhana Ki Jai. Vrindavan Dham Ki Jai. Mayapur Navadip Dham Ki Jai. Shri Chaitanya Charitamrita Ki Jai. All glories to Samo devotees. All glories to Samo devotees. All glories to Samo devotees. Nitai Gaura Premanandi Hari Hari Bo. Thank you all so much for being with us today on October 16th for our Thursday reading of Shri Chaitanya Charitamrita. From what I saw from last class, I think we're on 1765 today, Adi 1765. And I could read or Guru Maharaj if you would like to start.
Go ahead.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Text 65. Mukunda Dathira Kaila Danda Parasadam Kandilata harachitera saba avasadam. Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu blessed Mukunda Datta with punishment, and in that way vanquished all his mental depression. Mukunda Datta was once forbidden to enter the association of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu because of his mixing with the Mayavadi impersonalists. When Lord Chaitanya manifested his Mahaprakasha, he called all the devotees one after another and blessed them, while Mukunda Datta stood outside the door. The devotees informed the Lord that Mukunda Datta was waiting outside, but the Lord replied, "I shall not soon be pleased with Mukunda Datta, for he explains devotional service among devotees, but then he goes to Mayavadis to hear from them the Yoga Vasishta Ramayana, which is full of Mayavad philosophy. For this, I am greatly displeased with him." Hearing the Lord speak in that way, Mukunda Datta, standing outside, was exceedingly glad that the Lord would at some time be pleased with him, although he was not pleased at that moment. But when the Lord understood that Mukunda Datta was going to give up the association of the Mayavadis for good, he was pleased, and he at once called to see Mukunda. Thus he delivered him from the association of the Mayavadis and gave him the association of pure devotees. Maybe there's something here, Guru Maharaj, for you to say. I don't have anything to say at the moment. But it seems like there's perhaps a wealth of commentary that could be said.
There's a lot that could be said, but I think we can carry on.
Okay. Text 66. Acharya Gosaire Prabhu Hare Guru Bhakti Kare Guru Bhakti Tahate Acharya Bada Hoya Dukamati. Lord Chaitanya respected Advaita Acharya as his spiritual master, but Advaita Acharya Prabhu was greatly aggrieved by such behavior. Bhangi Kari Jnana Marga Korila Vyakyana Krodhaveshe Prabhu Tare Kaila Avagyana. Thus he whimsically began to explain the path of philosophical speculation, and the Lord, in his anger, seemingly disrespected him. Tabe Acharya Gosaire Ananda Hoile Lajite Hoya Prabhu Prasada Karila. At that time Advaita Acharya was greatly pleased. The Lord understood this, and he was somewhat ashamed, but he offered Advaita Acharya his benediction. Purport. Advaita Acharya was a disciple of Madhavendra Puri, Ishvara Puri's spiritual master. Therefore, Ishvara Puri, the spiritual master of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, was Advaita Acharya's godbrother. As such, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu treated Advaita Acharya as his spiritual master. But Sri Advaita Acharya did not like this behavior of Lord Chaitanya, for he wanted to be treated as his eternal servant. Advaita Prabhu's aspiration was to be a servant of the Lord, not his spiritual master. He therefore devised a plan to antagonize the Lord. He began to explain the path of philosophical speculation in the midst of some unfortunate Mayavadis. And when Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu heard about this, he immediately went there and in a very angry mood began to beat Advaita Acharya. At that time Advaita Acharya, greatly pleased, began to dance, saying, "Just see how my desire has now been fulfilled. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu used to treat me honorably for so long, but now he is treating me neglectfully. This is my reward. His affection for me is so great that he wanted to save me from the hands of the Mayavadis." Hearing this statement, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was somewhat ashamed, but he was very much pleased with Advaita Acharya. I don't have anything to say, but I do have a question. Do you have any commentary, Guru Maharaj, before I ask a question? You're muted, Guru Maharaj.
Yes, I can say something. Om Jnana Timiranda Tasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshun Militam Jena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah Shri Chaitanya Manobhistam Stapitam Jena Bhutale Ayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Shapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Jatapadakamanam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Shagrajatam Shahagana Raganatan Vitam Tam Sajiva Sadvaitam Savadhutam Grijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Shahagana Lolita Sri Vishakan Vitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindho Dina Bandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Rishabhanu Sute Devi Manamami Hari Priye Vansha Kopitarubhyascha Kripa Sindho Pyevacha Patita Nam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shiva Sari Gaur Bhaktivinoda Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare. Of course, the pastime is relishable, how Advaita Acharya was able to arouse the anger of the Lord toward him. Apart from that, it's noteworthy that the godbrothers of the spiritual master are to be honored like the spiritual master. Here, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu takes that view because Advaita Acharya was the godbrother of Ishwarapuri. He was as respectable as Ishwarapuri. The same thing happens with who is it that Ramchandra, I've forgotten. Who came to Puri and was criticizing all the devotees for eating too much. Ramchandra Puri, yes, thank you. He was also the godbrother of Ishwara Puri, disciple of Madhavendra Puri. So, although he was a critic, hypercritic, and really an offender, it's mentioned Guru Budhva, thinking of him as a guru. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu respected him. Yes, he's saying this. I have to accept. So this is the etiquette. Ideally, of course, the godbrother will be qualified Vaishnava and actually deserving. But even the undeserving person, by virtue of his seniority, his relationship with the spiritual master, is honored. The Vaishnava etiquette is particular about these things, and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was particular about Vaishnava etiquette. He didn't want to see transgressions of Vaishnava etiquette. So these things are to be observed. These things are to be followed. That one should respect not only the spiritual master, but the godbrothers of the spiritual master also. Hare Krishna.
Now I do see something in the chat from Praveen Krishna Prabhu, but I was wondering, is there anybody who's able to monitor the chat? I'm on my cell phone and I have to flip it sideways each time I read the chat. Is there anybody available to read the chat today? Otherwise, I can flip my.
Yes, I can.
Okay, thank you so much. There's a comment from Praveen Krishnapur, if you wouldn't mind reading it, about Advaita Acharya reading from Yoga Vashishta as well.
Oh yes. Praveen Prabhuji says Advaita Acharya was also explaining from Yoga Vasist.
Yoga Vishishta, that means impersonal point of view.
And I had a question, Gurumaj, about this pastime. Of course, it's very difficult to understand the behavior of exalted Vaishnavas, and this is unique to Advaita Acharya. Obviously, we don't behave offensively to get the mercy, being chastised or whatever it may be. But there was a discussion in this morning's class here in Hawaii about the mercy of a Vaishnava, even if we behave offensively. And the example came up of Manigriva and Nalakuvara, who, although they were disrespectful towards Narada Muni, they got Narada Muni's mercy. And so then the question was about the mad elephant offense. If you commit Vaishnava Aparad, is there ever a situation where that mercy comes in a negative form, or is it always beneficial to encounter a Vaishnava offensive or proper? Whether your behavior is offensive or within etiquette, it seems like the mercy comes. And in today's pastime with Advaita Acharya, I mean, it seems to me like that's pretty offensive, to go and speak Mayavad philosophy just to try to get chastised by Mahaprabhu. And I understand why Advaita Acharya did it, but at the same time, it seems like Vaishnava Aparad isn't such a big deal. It seems like you get the mercy no matter what. Just encountering a Vaishnava, that mercy comes your way, whether you're offensive or within the bounds of etiquette. I was wondering if you could.
Yes, that Durvasa Muni was certainly offensive, but even though, so he got mercy in the form of chastisement from the Lord. That was his good fortune. But obviously, we're not meant to create Vaishnava Aparads so that we can get mercy.
We may not be meant to, but it seems like encountering a Vaishnava, even if you're offensive, is good for you no matter what. And yet we're told to avoid offenses. I'm just not quite clear on.
Not so good. That quotation is there from Sati Devi, when in the Daksha Yagya, when her father offended Lord Shiva, Sati Devi says that by the dust of the feet of great souls, one can be gloriously exalted. But the same dust can cause one's degradation, one's downfall, if one offends the feet of great souls. So it's not that, yes, I'll commit offenses and then that will be so nice, I'll get the Lord's mercy somehow or other. That's not recommended. That one may, by the Lord's mercy, get some special blessing. Otherwise, one may just ruin one's devotional service.
Thank you, Maharaj. I'll read a couple more verses, and then Madhupati Prabhu, I don't know if you're available today, but maybe you can continue from text 71. I'll just read the next two while you look for the spot.
Okay.
Murari Gupta Mukhe Shuni Rama Guna Grama Lalate Likhila Tanra Ramadasa Nama Murari Gupta was a great devotee of Lord Ramchandra. When Lord Chaitanya heard Lord Ramchandra's glories from his mouth, he immediately wrote on his forehead, Ramdas, the eternal servant of Lord Ramchandra. Shridharera lauha patre kaila jalapana, samasta bhaktere dila ishta varadana. Once Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu went to the house of Sridhar after Kirtan and drank water from his damaged iron pot. Then he bestowed his benediction upon all the devotees according to their desires. After the Mass Nagara Sankirtan in protest against the magistrate Chankazi, the Kazi was converted to a devotee. Then Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu returned with his Sankirtan party to the house of Sridhar, and Chankazi followed him. All the devotees rested there for some time and drank water from Sridhar's damaged iron pot. The Lord accepted the water because the pot belonged to a devotee. Chankazi then returned home. The place where they rested is still situated on the northeastern side of Mayapur, and it is known as Kirtana Vishramasthana, the resting place of the Kirtan party. Any comments, Gurumaj?
No.
Alright, there's a comment from Praveen Prabhu and then Madhupati Prabhu, if you would continue reading after.
Prabhuji is asking, Ramchandra Puri never got the mercy, even though he was all the Vaishnavas?
Even though he offended all the Vaishnavas, yeah, he didn't get, there was no special manifestation of mercy for him. He offended his Guru Maharaj, then he became offender of all the Vaishnavas up to the point of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. We don't hear that he got any great mercy on that account, or any mercy. He only had, the devotees were happy when he left Mayapur. Yes, finally he's gone. Hare Krishna.
We have a hand from Sham Sindhu Prabhu. Please go ahead.
Hare Krishna Maharaj, Hare Krishna dear devotees. I just have a question about, I've heard this term, I think nectar of destruction too, and you mentioned it also, Maharaj, ruining one's devotional service. Or the term spoiled, ruined, destroyed. But what does that mean? Does that mean that they are no longer able to practice devotional service? Does the quality of the service degrade? What happens to their devotional service exactly when they commit these offenses?
Well, exactly what may happen may differ from case to case, but it's described in Nectar Devotion that their devotional service can become like the waning moon, just as we have Shreya Koreva Chandrika, the full moon of all benedictions. So the moon becomes bigger and bigger till it's full. And then you can get the waning moon where everything diminishes. So one's taste may be lost. One may deviate from the practices. One may become infected by Mayavad or by the spirit of sense gratification. But one way or another, one may, one's devotional service may degrade. So we're warned. Elsewhere in the Chaitanya Charitamrita, it said that devotion, the offenses to Vaishnavas is the mad elephant offense. You carefully plant a seed and it grows into a creeper, and you take out the weeds and provide water. But if a mad elephant wanders into your garden, it can just smash everything. So offenses to Vaishnavas are called the mad elephant offense. What's the effect when a mad elephant tramples your garden and everything is lost? We should be very careful.
Thank you, Maharaj. It sounds quite horrifying. It's like you open the floodgates to hell, and then you just get infected with all kinds of awful desires.
Yeah.
Madhupati Prabhu.
Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Gurudas Jayādvaita Swami Niti Namne. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimati Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namne. Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharya Nirvishesh Shunyavadi Pashadesh Dharine. Haridasa Thakure Re Karila Prasad Acharya Sthane Matarha Khandaila Aparad. After this incident, the Lord blessed Haridas Thakur and vanquished the offense of his mother at the home of Advaita Acharya. On the Mahaprakash day, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu embraced Haridas Thakur and informed him that he was none other than an incarnation of Prahlad Maharaj. When Vishwarup took sannyas, Sachimata thought that Advaita Acharya had persuaded him to do so. Therefore, she accused Advaita Acharya of this, which was an offense at his lotus feet. Later, Lord Chaitanya induced his mother to take the dust of Advaita Acharya's lotus feet, and thus her Vaishnava aparadh was nullified. Guru Maharaj, would you like to have a comment on this?
No.
Okay, I will continue. भक्तगणे प्रभु नाम महिमा कहला सुनिया पदयत अर्थवाद कहला. Once when the Lord explained the glories of the holy name to the devotees, some ordinary students who heard him fashioned their own interpretation. नामे स्तुति वाद सुनी प्रभुर हर दुख सबर निषेधिल इहार न देखिए मुख. When a student interpreted the glories of the holy name as a prayer of exaggeration, the Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, greatly unhappy, immediately warned everyone not to see the student's face henceforward. Once when Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu explained the glories of the transcendental potency of the Lord's holy name, the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, one unfortunate student said that such glorification of the holy name was an exaggeration in the Shastras to induce people to take to it. In this way, the student interpreted the glories of the holy name. This is called Arthabad. And it is one of the 10 offenses at the lotus feet of the holy name of the Lord. There are many kinds of offenses, but the offense known as Namaprad, an offense at the lotus feet of the holy name, is extremely dangerous. The Lord therefore warned everyone not to see the face of the offender. The Lord immediately took a bath in the Ganges with all his clothes on to teach everyone to avoid such a Namaprad. The holy name is identical with the Supreme Personality of Godhead. There is no difference between the person God and his holy name. This is the absolute position of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Therefore, one who distinguishes between the Lord and his name is called a pasandi or non-believer, an atheistic demon. Glorification of the holy name is glorification of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. One should never attempt to distinguish between the Lord and his name or interpret the glories of the holy name as mere exaggerations. Om Ajnanatimidandasya Jnananjana Sulakaya Chakshurmitanyena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. This pastime talks about the student who interpreted on the glories of the holy name, which is Arthavad, 10 offenses against the holy name. And Mahaprabhu immediately warned everybody to avoid seeing the student, and he himself took a bath in the Ganges with his clothes on. But they're establishing that one should never consider the holy name and the Lord to be different from each other. And interpret the glories of the holy name. This is use a mundane interpretation to the holy name of the Lord is one of the offenses of the holy name. Yeah, that's all I had. Guru Maharaj, you like to comment?
Yes, this is also called Artavad. To think exactly this, that yes, holy name is great, but all these statements in Shastra, they're just sort of pumping up the glories of the holy name to get you to chant. That's offensive. Hare Krishna. There's no limit to the glories of the Lord. There's no limit to the glories of the holy name of the Lord.
It looks like we have a hand up from Saraswati Devi.
Pranams Param Pujya Gurudev and all the Vaishnavas. So, Guru Maharaj, we see that Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu immediately went into the river Ganges, but I'm not sure if is that the remedy for committing an offense at the holy name? Because when we're
That
chanting,
was the remedy for hearing an offense to the holy name. And one doesn't think, yes, I heard a very nice explanation. Yes, I heard a plausible explanation. Yes, everyone has their own take on things. No, this is contaminating. To hear Artavad or Stutivad, to think that to hear some interpretation, mundane interpretation on the holy name of the Lord, is contaminating. And so the Lord, just to purify himself, took bath in the Ganga and with all his clothes. Sometimes there are injunctions in Shastra like that. If you such and such offense goes on, then one should purify oneself by bathing in the Ganga with all his clothes. The meaning is clear. It means that this is so contaminating that my clothes are contaminated even from the association of such a person. Hare Krishna.
thank you so much.
Start? No. No. हटो
Sounds like somebody can.
पॉटी आ रही है
themselves.
Can
एक
you
जगह पे बैठ जाओ जाके
can you order?
नो बहुत एक बिल्कुल
Okay.
Madhupati Prabhu, you can read a couple more, and then I was thinking maybe Naveen Prabhu, if you're available, could continue after a couple verses. And if there's anybody else who would like to read, please message us in the chat box. Otherwise, we'll continue a couple more with you, Madhupati Prabhu, and then if Naveen's available, we can pass it on.
सगने से चले गिया कैले गंगा स्नान भक्ति रे महिमा तहाँ करिले व्याख्यान. Okay. Without even removing his garments, Lord Chaitanya took a bath in the Ganges with his companions. There he explained the glories of devotional service. ज्ञान कर्म योग धर्मे नहे कृष्णवास कृष्णवास हेतु एक प्रेम भक्ति रस. By following the paths of speculative philosophical knowledge, fruitive activity or mystic yoga to control the senses, one cannot satisfy Krishna, the Supreme Lord. Unalloyed devotional love for Krishna is the only cause for the Lord's satisfaction. न साध्यति माम योगो, न सांख्यम धर्म उद्धव, न स्वाध्याय तप त्यागो, यथा bhakti mamorjita. The Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna said, my dear Uddhava, neither through Ashtanga Yoga, the mystic yoga system to control the senses, nor through impersonal monism or an analytical study of the absolute truth, nor through study of the Vedas, nor through austerities, charity, or acceptance of sannyas, can one satisfy me as much as by developing unalloyed devotional service unto me. Karmis, Jnanis, Yogis, Tapasvis, and students of Vedic literature who do not have Krishna consciousness simply beat around the bush and do not get any final profit because they have no clear knowledge of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Nor do they have faith in approaching Him by discharging devotional service. Although everywhere such service is repeatedly emphasized, as it is in this verse from Srimad Bhagavatam, 11th canto, 14th chapter, 20th verse. The Bhagavad Gita 1855 also declares, Bhaktyamam abhijanati yamana yasyasmi tatvata. One can understand the Supreme Personality as he is only by devotional service. If one wants to understand the Supreme Personality effectually, he must take to the path of devotional service and not waste time in profitless philosophical speculation, fruitive activity, mystic yogic practice, or severe austerity and penance. Elsewhere in the Bhagavad Gita 12.5, the Lord confirms Klesho Adhikara Tesham Avyakta Sakta Chetasam. For those whose minds are attached to the unmanifested impersonal feature of the Supreme, advancement is very troublesome. People who are attached to the impersonal feature of the Lord are obliged to take great trouble, yet nevertheless they cannot understand the absolute truth. As explained in Srimad Bhagavatam, Brahmeti Paramatmeti Bhagwaniti Sabdyate. Unless one understands the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the original source of both Brahman and Paramatma, one is still in darkness about the absolute truth. Om Ajnanatimindasya Jnananjana Salakaya Chakshurmatan Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Only by performance of bhakti one can understand the Supreme Lord as established here in this verse. And the Lord's instruction to Uddhava here. Either one is performing Karma Yoga or Jnana Yoga or Ashtanga Yoga or mere austerities or charity, penances, does not satisfy the Supreme Lord as much as a bhakti yogi who, by performance of devotional services to the Supreme Lord, is able to understand the Lord and satisfy. Bhakti amam abhijanati yamuna sasmi tatvata. Right. And Srila Prabhupada quotes the 5th verse of 12th chapter also. Klesho adhikara tesham avyakta sakta chetasam. For those whose mind are attached to the unmanifested impersonal feature of the Supreme, advancement is very troublesome. They take many, many lifetimes before they come to an understanding. Bhavanam janmanante jnanavan papatete. That ultimately everything comes from Vasudeva. Vasudevam sarvamiti samahatma dullabha. So, this Bhakti Yoga path is always recommended. Yeah, that's all I have. Too much, you like to comment?
Mhm. It's not that, yes, Bhakti Yoga is good, Jnana Yoga is good, everything's good, it's all on the same platform. That's also offensive to think that
Am I frozen? Can
I think Guru Maharaj.
Anaconda just
Guru Maharaj, I think we lost you in between. Your line froze, so if you can repeat.
devotional service. Devotional service represents the Lord's own, or it's a manifestation of the Lord's own.
Your line is freezing. Guru Maharaj, we did not get anything. I think your line is frozen.
Mhm. You were frozen for me.
Oh.
The Lord himself says, no, the other methods are not as good as devotional service. Hare Krishna.
Unfortunately, Guru Maharaj, we couldn't hear most of that. Something's happening from your side. I'm reluctant to ask you to repeat everything, but if you don't mind, we would love to hear what you had to say. I don't know if connection will improve, but
Well, how's the connection now? Can you hear?
Yeah, now we hear you very nicely, but we didn't hear anything that you said before.
Well, one shouldn't think that Karmakanda is good, Gyanakanda is good, Bhakti Yoga is good. They're all good. They're all on the same level. The Lord specifically says that no devotional service is better. The other methods are not as pleasing. Hare Krishna.
We have something in the chat box from Radesha Prabhuji. Matara Shruti Bhaktir Evainam Nayati Bhaktir Evainam Darshayati Bhakti Vasha Purusha Bhaktireva Bhuyasi. Bhakti leads the jiva to the Lord and enables the soul to seek the Supreme Personality of Godhead. The Lord is controlled by Bhakti. Bhakti is the best of all.
Devotional service manifests a Swarup Shakti, the internal potency of the Lord, directly.
Are you available, Naveen Prabhu, to continue?
Yes, I can. Is it text 77?
Yes.
Murari ke kahe tumi Krishna Vasha Kaila Shuniya Murari Shloka Kahite Lagila. Translation. Lord Chaitanya then praised Murari Gupta, saying, "You have satisfied Lord Krishna." Hearing this, Murari Gupta quoted a verse from Srimad Bhagavatam. Kvaham Daridra Papiyan Kva Krishna Shri Nikitana Brahma Bundur Itasmaham Baburyam Parirambita. Translation. Since I am but a poor, sinful Brahma Bandhu, not Brahmanically qualified, although born in a Brahmana family, and you, Lord Krishna, are the shelter of the goddess of fortune, it is simply wonderful, my dear Lord Krishna, that you have embraced me with your arms. Purport. This is a verse from Srimad Bhagavatam, 10:81:16, spoken by Sudama Vipra in the presence of Lord Sri Krishna. This and the previous verse quoted from Srimad Bhagavatam clearly indicate that although Krishna is so great that it is not possible for anyone to satisfy him, he exhibits his greatness by being personally satisfied even with one who is unqualified from so many angles of vision. Sudama Vipra was born in a family of Brahmanas, and he was a learned scholar and a class friend of Krishna's. Yet he considered himself unfit to be strictly called a Brahmana. He called himself a Brahma Bandhu, meaning one born in a Brahmana family but not Brahmanically qualified. Because of his great respect for Brahmanas, however, Krishna embraced Sudama Vipra, although he was not a regular Brahmana, but a Brahma Bandhu, or a friend of a Brahmana family. Murari Gupta could not be called even a Brahma Bandhu because he was born of a Vaidya family, and according to the social structure was therefore considered a Shudra. But Krishna bestowed special mercy upon Murari Gupta because he was a beloved devotee of the Lord, as stated by Sri Caitanya Mahaprabhu. This purport of Sri Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur's elaborate discussion of this subject is that no qualification in this material world can satisfy the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna, yet everything becomes successful simply through development of devotional service to the Lord. The members of the International Society for Krishna Consciousness cannot even call themselves Brahma Bandhus. Therefore, our only means for satisfying Krishna is to pursue the injunctions of Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who says, Yare Deka Tare Kaha Krishna Upadesh, Amar Agnaya Guru Hana Tara Desh. Whomever you meet, instruct him on the teachings of Krishna. In this way, on my order, become a spiritual master and deliver the people of this country. Simply trying to follow the orders of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, we speak to the people of the world about Bhagavad Gita as it is. This will make us qualified to satisfy the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna.
Any thoughts, Naveen Prabhu?
I don't have thoughts, but Maharaj might have thoughts or others.
Guru Maharaj?
Yes. This verse is spoken by Sudama Brahman. Who am I? I'm just a Brahma Bandhu, just a fallen Brahmin, but Krishna's so kind. But here, Prabhupada makes the point, we're not even Brahma Bandhus. We're less. So we're completely, whatever qualification you might hope to have can only be by the mercy of Krishna and the Hare Krishna.
These couple of verses that were quoted are a couple favorites of mine. Nasadhiti Mam Yoga and Kwaham Daridra Papiyan. And the last time we were all in Mayapur, we went to Murari Gupta's house, Murari Gupta Bhavan. It was very quiet. In terms of Mayapur, the development is so rapid, but Murari Gupta Bhavan is still kind of tucked away. It's still hidden and quiet, and it was very nice. And I quoted this verse, and one of the Bulgarian devotees, I've forgotten his name unfortunately, in Tulsi Prabhu's Yatra, he quoted a verse, Govinda Parirambhita, so I put it in the chat. But to be embraced by the Lord is an opportunity for all Vaishnavas who are constantly absorbed in meditation on the Lord. So I thought I'd share that verse as it was shared with me in the context of this verse. I see a hand up from Saraswati Devi.
Guru Maharaj, I'm trying to understand why it would be that Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he's quite happy here with Murari Gupta, knowing Murari Gupta's Ishtadev is Lord Ramchandra, but in that pastime with Venkat Bhatt, Lord was very insistent to present the exalted position of Krishna in relationship to his avatars, and so I'm not understanding, because Venkat Bhatt was very firmly fixed in worship of Lakshmi Narayan, but with him, the Lord was quite insistent that he tried to understand the exalted position of Krishna, and in fact, it seemed like he was trying to convert him into a Krishna Bhakt. But here, the Lord is saying he's very pleased with Murari Gupta. So I'm not understanding the difference here. Hare Krishna.
The same attempt was made to bring Murari Gupta, turn Murari Gupta into a Krishna Bhakta. All the arguments were given, and he was urged again and again, please just worship Krishna, to the point where he finally agreed. But then all night he was crying that how can I've sold my head to Lord Raghunath, Lord Ramchandra, how can I give him up? So then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was pleased, yes, you're not different from Hanuman. With Venkat Bhatt also, the Lord was not displeased, but there was, as I recall, some rather humorous exchanges also about the relative glories of the goddess of fortune and devotional service and non-reverence as against Krishna Bhakti. And also, again, the Lord's past.
We've lost Maharaj again. I'm not sure his connection will come back, but in the meantime, perhaps Naveen Prabhu, if you wouldn't mind reading a few more verses. We have a few minutes, and maybe we can read through the mango verses. Really, really sweet.
Text 79. Ekadina Prabhu Sabha Bhakta Gana Lana Sankirtana Kari Vaise Shrama Yukta Hana. One day, the Lord performed Sankirtan with all his devotees, and when they were greatly fatigued, they sat down. Eka Amra Bija Prabhu Agnai Ropila Tatkashane Janmila Vriksha Badite Lagila. Translation. The Lord then sowed a mango seed in the yard, and immediately the seed fructified into a tree and began to grow.
One small Guru Maharaj, we see you're back. I'm sorry we continued reading because we lost you for a moment.
No, that's fine.
Okay.
Today's my last day on this internet connection, so we'll hope for better.
All right. But we heard. I think we caught most of what you said about Venkatabhata and Murari
Okay.
Gupta. So.
Good.
All right, Naveen Prabhu.
Text 81. Dekite Vriksha Yaila Balita Pakila Aneka Pala Sabai Vismita. As people looked on, the tree became fully grown, with fruits that fully ripened. Thus everyone was struck with wonder. Shata Dwi Pala Prabhu Shirgra Padaila Rakshalana Kari Krishna Boga Lagaila. The Lord immediately picked about 200 fruits, and after washing them, he offered them to Krishna to eat. Rakta Pita Varna Nahi Asti Vakala Eka Janera Beta Bare Kaila Ekapala. The fruits were all red and yellow, with no seed inside and no skin outside, and eating one fruit would immediately fill a man's belly. Purport. In India, a mango is considered best when it is red and yellow. Its seed is very small, its skin is very thin, and it is so palatable that if a person eats one fruit, he will be satisfied. The mango is considered the king of all fruits.
That might be a good spot to stop. We're right at 4 minutes to the hour. So we'll continue with Chaitanya Charitamrita next week, Thursday, with text 84. I just asked Venkatesh Prabhu if he's available for Kirtan, but he hasn't replied. Naveen Prabhu, since you were just reading, perhaps you would lead the closing kirtan while you're at it.
Sure. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Jayam Vishnupad Paramamsa Parivrajakaacharya Stotra Shata Shishima Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj Prabhupada Ki Jai. Jayam Vishnupad Paramahamsa Parivrajakaacharya Stotra Shata Shishima Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Prabhupada Ki Jai. Namacharya Shil Haridas Thakur Ki Jai. Prem Se Kaur Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasari Gaura Bhaktavinda. Jai Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gopi Gopinath Shyam Kund Radha Kund Giri Govardhana Ki Jai. Vrindavan Dham Ki Jai. Mayapur Navadvip Dham Ki Jai. Jamuna Maya Ki Jai. Ganga Maya Ki Jai. Bhakti Devi Ki Jai. Tulsi Maharani Ki Jai. Samaveta Gaura Bhaktavinda Ki Jai. All glorious here, Samo devotees. All glorious here, Samo devotees. All glorious here, Samo devotees. Nitai Gaura Premanandi. Hari Hari Bo. Thank you all so much for being with us for our reading today of Sri Caitanya Charitamrita. And thank you so much, Guru Maharaj, for being with us in spite of a spotty internet connection. Blind uncle is better than no uncle. And we look forward to seeing you all again on Monday for our Srimad Bhagavatam class. Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita ki Jai. His Holiness Jayādvaita Maharaj ki Jai.
Hare Krishna. Thank you.